Now, this is the moment Tim Walsh accidentally told the truth.
You're seeing what they're doing to us on the streets, but they are doing the same thing through the courts and their power of the agencies to defund all of state government, to make it, yes, we're the most generous state in the country with benefits and things like that. Did we have some people steal from us? Yes, and we put them in jail. They use it as an excuse to dismantle a progressive, functional state that's some of the highest quality of life. You're seeing what they're doing to us on the street.
You heard what he said, right? Did we have some people steal from us? Yes. Those were his words now. Notice how casual that was. There wasn't no hesitation, no allegedly, no we're investigating. Just, people stole from us. That's not clarification. That's an admission right there that you just witnessed. Now, here's where it gets pretty interesting, all right? Here's where it gets pretty interesting because I want you to listen how differently he talked before that slip.
I'm just incredibly proud of Minnesotans that in the face of a federal government retribution campaign against a state that has never been seen before, we responded with peaceful protests, boycotts, delivering food to our neighbors, and a commitment to a civil society that works for all of us. So I'll continue to work on it. But after everything that's happened to our state, my people, and this country, me using a historical reference to these folks ranks pretty far on down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and reject that both sides are responsible for this. I'm just incredibly proud of Minnesotans that in.
Wow. Now, this is Walsh responding to backlash right here, brushing off everything like none of it really matters. That's that's the tone. When you don't think you'll ever be challenged, you minimize. Fraud, down the line. Rhetoric, down the line. Accountability, not even on the list. When Democrats want to answer questions, they don't, bring facts, y'all. They bring emotion.
This is a state of emergency, and I'm wondering where our leadership is. Where is Governor Walz? Where is Mayor Fry? Where are all of our representatives? And if you want to run for office and you're not standing with community, you don't have a shot. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of standing up here. And Georgia is a wife. She is a mother. She's a business owner. She's a journalist. She should not be in jail right now. And everybody should be outraged about that. This does not make any sense. This is real trauma. This is not a joke. Trump, this is not a show. This is not a game. This is people's real life. And I want everybody. The world is watching Minnesota once again. Once again, we're under the microscope because we're not being protected and we can't get.
We're under them. What? Hold on. Nah, y'all know I mess up words, but what was that?
Once again, we're under the microscope because we're not being protected and we can't get it right. And it's not on the community. And nothing's burnt to the ground. Y'all always making excuses. Y'all want to act like this is us against them. No, we're under attack. And the people have not even begun to fight back. We can't even record. We can't even stand. We can't even live. People can't leave their houses. People are losing their jobs. People are afraid. And Georgia had the courage to record it. And now she's arrested. Where is our constitutional rights? We are under attack and you all better wake up before it's too late to wake up. It's not a joke. It's not a drill. When journalists are getting arrested, you all better be afraid.
Now, she said what? She said micro soap instead of scope. And I knew immediately. She's not zooming in on the problem. She's trying to clean it up. Like, nah, that's not a diagnosis, man. She's doing a hygiene check. Excuse me. This is how the conversation gets redirected, though, man. We're under attack. This is not a drill type language, right? Notice what's missing. No numbers, no timelines, no explanation, just fear. The whole victim narrative, because fear is way easier than receipts. And while they're, telling you, hold on, I'm trying to get this together. Okay, I got to do that like that. And while they're telling you everything is peaceful out here, here's what that peace actually looks like. yeah. You talk about somebody who would have had my kid. See, I got location on my kids' phones. If they wasn't in school first of all, which teachers allowed this if they did? If this was a walkout? These are the peaceful protests we were promised. Now, these are children. You know, they still got time. They're being led by vibes. That's not civic engagement. That's pressure tactics, too. And it only works if nobody asks a follow-up question. CNN tried asking one.
And then just lastly, what's your message to the people who are not here in Minneapolis and Minnesota who haven't experienced what people who have been living here have been experiencing?
Believe what you see, not what you're told, not what you hear. Take the evidence and make your own judgment about it. And know that we are all people and we are all oppressed. And we have to stay together and believe the truth and find it together and stand together.
Okay, thank you. Stay warm, all right? And then just lastly, what's your message to the people who are not here in...
That basically sounded like stay woke. I'm going to start telling people stay warm. Now, this was supposed to clean things up, right? You know, you had the protester, we're all people and we're all oppressed. That was supposed to bring us together, but that's the whole argument. No definitions, no standards, just vibes. That's all they bring to the table. But here's the part they really don't want you compromising.
They just left, but I don't know why it's making me so emotional. I guess because, like, being here in Seattle and being a teacher here in North Seattle specifically, there's not a lot of like Latino teachers at my school specifically, and seeing like our community and the community I teach and like being so supportive, it's really heartwarming. But yeah, middle school kids, they know that everything that's going on in this administration it's not okay. And I will never understand why anyone thinks that it's okay.
Yeah.
They just left, but
this is how the mindset gets rewarded. Like this. You got the teachers praising the walkout. Man, you got kids who can't read out here, but at least they can chant. That's not education. That's not education, y'all. That's activism with a grading curve. That's exactly what that is. Now, let me show you the most inconvenient voice in this entire conversation.
I don't want to talk about that, but I'm going to. Okay, I'm getting a lot of comments like, and for the people who say they are the love, they preach the love, but I'm getting a lot of bad comments. Okay, guys, let me tell you guys something. Okay, I got pulled over twice by ICE. Okay, and if I react like this, why you pull me over? Just because I'm brown? Just because I have this terrible accent? That's why you're pulling me over? I can guarantee you, man, things will turn around pretty bad for myself. Okay, but every time they pull me over, hey sir, can I have identification? Yes sir, it's right here. I give the identification card to them. They look at, oh sir, have a nice day. Both times end just like that. Okay, let me tell you something. If you're an immigrant like me, okay, and you care for this land, you care for America, okay, you should support ICE. Okay, you want a clean up on this land, okay, because we know there's a lot of bad people who need to go out. Okay, good guys will pay with the bad. Yes, unfortunately, yes. I agree with the immigration laws. Probably not. Okay, I think we should be different. Like if you don't have any background criminal, I think you should have a way for you to stay. Okay, but I'm not the one who make the laws. I'm the one who comply with the laws. Okay, that's the big difference. Like if you are really loving this country like I do it, okay, like I make this country my home, you should comply with the law, not against the law.
I know that's right. I know, right? Appreciate that. This is now a legal immigrant explaining his experience with ICE right there. Respect. Oh, wow. Okay, that didn't end well. Same country, same laws, right? But, and also same enforcement, but a completely different outcome in mindset. I got to say respect. He even explained his differences that I may not agree with. However, he underlined it with, hey, still got to abide by the laws. That's why the left hates this clip, because it ruins the script completely, y'all. So, this clip is really irrelevant. I'll explain what's going on. I'll read the caption. Breaking: huge win as a judge refuses to block President Trump's DHS surge to Minnesota for mass deportations. Arrests continue. Activist judge in shambles. Yeah. While that noise keeps getting louder, reality is just going to keep moving, as you can see. Courts don't run on hashtags. They run on law. And law does not care about performative outrage. I'm going to tell y'all that now. Now, which brings us to the last voice in the room.
On Minneapolis, Governor Tim Walz recently likened the conflict on the ground to Fort Sumter, sort of implying that this is the beginning of a civil war. Do you agree with that characterization? Do you feel like there's a civil war brewing in Minneapolis?
Well, does he know what Fort Sumter was, or do you think somebody wrote it out for him? No, this is, I was elected on law and order. I was elected on a strong border. We had a border that allowed 25 million people to come in. Many were murderers. They murdered people. We had 11,888 murderers. We had prisons, including Venezuela, but Venezuela opened its prisons. So did the Congo. The Congo in Africa opened its prisons and dumped people into our country. Many countries did that. I would have done that if I were leading a country. I would have dumped the prisoners into our country. We had open borders. We had all these things. I was elected on law and order. I was elected on the economy. I was elected on a lot of reasons, because when I took over, we inherited a mess. Prices were too high. Inflation was the highest it was in 48 years. I say ever, but the media always corrects me by saying it's only 48 years. I think 48 years almost sounds worse. But when I was elected to do a job. And one of the big things I was elected to do is law and order. We now have the lowest crime rate in the history of our country. We have the lowest murder rate in the history of our country. We have Washington, D.C., which was a dangerous place to walk, is now a totally safe city. You can walk with your husband or your wife. You can walk with your children right down the middle of the city. Nothing's going to happen. We did a great job. We had the National Guard. We have soldiers. We have people that nobody's going to mess with. And we've taken out. Remember, it's not just that. In Washington, we've removed over 2,000 criminals. And, you know, if you look at the numbers, a very small percentage of your population, 2%, 3% of your population causes 90% of the crime. So when you move it's amazing how that works. But the criminals go over and over and over again. So 2 to 3% of your population can cause over 90% of your crime. So it's not that complex. We moved 2,000 people out of Washington. We brought them back to their countries where they came from. They came through open borders by Sleepy Joe Biden. And I will tell you, Washington is safe. If you look at New Orleans, as you know, we went there about 4 weeks ago. I was with the mayor of New Orleans last night. He was at the premiere, and she was at the premiere. She was great. I believe she's a Democrat. She came over. She thanked me so much. She said crime is down more than 50% in just a few weeks. And you couldn't even walk down the street in New Orleans. It's so bad. And now they let us in there, and she is thanking me so much, so profusely. She was great last night. I'd do that if I were a Democrat. I'd say call Trump and let them do what they do. But we remove people, criminals, from the cities, and they become safe cities. If you look at Minnesota, Minneapolis, we have crime down there because we took out thousands of people, despite all the mess and everything else. But do these people really want to have rapists? Do they really want to have drug dealers and people from prisons and murderers? Do they really want to have them in the community?
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is Trump responding to Tim Walz's Civil War talk, if you will. That's the difference. One side panics, One side performs. One side enforces the law. Tim Walz didn't mean to admit fraud. I'm sure you see you've seen how he tried to clean that up real quick. He didn't mean to admit that, but he did. And once the truth slips out, no amount of chanting can put that back in. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to put chants didn't work. Yeah. That way I know it's not even for the algorithm at this point. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.